Hi everybody and welcome to this extra very special episode of Hobby Titans. It's Friday the 13th. I'm just kidding. It is not Friday.
No.
But it is the 13th. I'm back with Kat. Kat, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. It was nice to have a week off. Took a little trip, visited some friends in Colorado. Had some fun. Looks like you and Adrian also had some fun here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I came in, I think yesterday, and this mat, this thing was almost super like pristine clean.
Yeah.
You were doing all brushwork.
Yep.
Yeah. There's like a little bit of paint where he was. I was like, man, these guys.
And no one was hobbying throughout the week.
Yeah. Kat, are you ready? We're gonna take a little trip down memory lane today.
Yeah.
Because as you guys may have seen from the thumbnail, some of the work in today's hobby stream has been, this is not a joke, has been inspired by Lisa Frank. Do you remember Lisa Frank?
I do remember Lisa Frank.
Okay.
Yes, you seem convinced that I didn't.
I'm a little surprised. Kat is 10 years younger than me, and when I was doing middle school, maybe, I guess, Lisa Frank was like kind of popular. And I guess I thought that she was not still popular among people 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, like elementary school, back to school supplies, stuff like that.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to be working on?
More of my tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing's coming along nice. I still love this
I
black.
did do some stuff like off stream, but not a ton. It was just me really working out like colors and stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah.
you'll have to catch us up. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to get creative. Okay, here it is. So I wasn't joking when I said, "Oh, it's a little fuzzy. Let's get a little focus."
Oh, it'll pull in.
Okay,
Yeah.
is it going to keep doing that though?
I hope not.
Let's see. Okay, I was not joking when I said for my Daughters of Cain Army, I actually did do a number of different inspirations as far as their paint styles and what I chose to do to theme them. And one of the things I did, especially for the Khanite Shadow Stalkers, is I wanted them to have a Lisa Frank theme. I love this like insanity of fluorescent colors. Yeah, it's like so. Look, it's so hard to focus on Lisa Frank style because it's just insane. I mean, that's kind of a thing. So here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Maybe if I pull out a little bit more there. All right. So it is an aesthetic. I was like, hey, I know it sounds a little crazy, but of course I didn't want to be like totally goofy about it. You know what I mean?
Like your face, Lisa Frank.
Yeah, I wanted it to just have a little bit of an inspiration drawn from this kind of craziness. So as you guys can see, their robes and for some of them their hair have this sort of fluorescent gradient going on. And I now want another unit of Khanite Shadow Stalkers. So that's what I'm going to be working on today.
Yeah, when you first showed me this, I was honestly very surprised because I've seen some like rainbowy, like with super hyper fluorescent miniatures before, but that's always like what it is entirely, not like blended into like what would be considered, I guess, a normal paint scheme.
Yeah.
So this was a very nice.
Yeah, thank you. I think that I think too often miniature painters get like an idea like, I'm going to do a Care Bear Space Marine army or something like that, or I'm going to do like something goofy, right? And then they just do it.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily let themselves have an influence. They let it take over. And we're going to talk a little bit about this today and what influences are compelling to go for and try out. But I felt like I wanted just to have a little bit of influence, just a little bit of Lisa Frank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah.
Now, lore-wise, these are not a totally insane unit to do this because these are kind of like assassins, and you'd think that would mean they're in dark colors, and they kind of are if you look. I have a lot of like dark purples going on, which matches the rest of my Daughters of Cain army. But they also travel through like a portal. It's called the Umbral Portal, and they like can kind of teleport wherever they need to be all of a sudden. And I sort of just decided that like this made sense to interpret as this swirling color of energy and magic that they travel through. And here they are coming out of it.
Yeah, it's also kind of cool too because it makes it seem like sort of like they almost have like an active camo type thing that like blends in with their environment as well. So yeah, for them being assassins, I think that fits.
Fun.
So yeah.
What do you? Let's have a look. What are you up to?
Yeah. Did you want me to throw it on the Glam Cam or like? No, let's just. Yeah.
We will put it on
yeah.
the Glam Cam.
Yeah.
And because I need to get some of these guys off of it anyway.
So you got to work on it.
Yes, we will do that. But in the meantime.
Yeah. So for the most part, for people who were watching last week, this hasn't changed like a ton. I did paint the gun barrels on the front here, mostly just because I was trying to figure out like what color I wanted to go with. I did say I wanted to keep it like almost not metallic, but I found a jet exhaust, or I think that's what it's called, jet exhaust.
You're the
metallic
aerospace engineer.
Which was like a super, super, super dark, like iron, almost like a warm iron color.
Yeah.
So I liked that a lot. I also did do like a matte black wash over it to dull it down a little bit. I'm probably going to add some more texture to it. I think I might hit it with like a brown wash in certain places. Other than that, I painted I don't even know what they're called. The like
spirits?
Guard? No. Those are already done. Well, not done, but to the point of like, I'll do some more on them. No, I painted whatever the guards around the exhausts on the back.
You know, are. I'm gonna say again, you're the vehicle person.
Yeah. So just a little bit more metallics and stuff. I made the mistake of grabbing my stuff from the studio, taking my wet palette, but completely forgetting my palette papers. So I was stuck with using a very, very small palette paper that didn't really fit in my palette. But yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of time this week to work on it. Or I guess last week really is when I was working on it. But hopefully I have a little bit more this week. And I also like the idea of like, you know, if this is the only time I get to hobby, then I'm just going to continue to plug through what I'm currently working on.
Right.
But yeah, today I am going to paint the fun stuff, which is paint some more fire on the spirit hosts, paint the glow that they're going to be casting on the rest of the tank and really blocking out those colors. I also mentioned last week that I needed to fill in some holes on the spirit host that goes in between this guy's arms, and I did do that. So we don't have to wait for putty to dry or anything. So we should be good to go.
Awesome. I love it. I'm going to hop in. So I'll show you guys a couple things during the stream. One of the things that I'll be doing that might be new to some peeps at home is just working with some of these fluorescent paints. And I can kind of show you a couple things I've learned about doing them. Quite honestly, are they their own kind of advanced technique? Like, definitely not. But there is a trick or two to
making them pop.
To making a pop, and one of the very first things is literally what I'm kind of doing right now, which is I already have, maybe Kat, we can do a shoulder.
Sure.
I already have where I've gone with these. This is mostly how I paint all of my Daughters of Cain. After priming them, I do them in this Phoenician purple. This is like a dark purple. And then I hit the skin first. The skin is like the one thing that after I'm done airbrushing it, I don't really want to mess with much. So the skin on the Shadow Stalkers is done a little bit differently than the skin on the rest of my army. I wanted their skin to be a little more purple. It's more closely similar to how I did my Doomfire Warlocks. So rather than having like the warmth of a more living thing like the witches, the witch elves, or most of my army, I just did over top the Phoenician purple. I did this cacophony purple, which has like tan in it. You can almost, we've talked about this before. I can't remember, Kat, if you were on stream or not, but like you can literally see like the Ubshanti bone in this paint,
Okay.
especially if you let it sit for a while. So it does provide a little bit of warmth. It is kind of like a warm purple. And then all I did over top of that is AK Titanium White, which we're going to be using a lot of today. And believe it or not, that's it. And that gives you this kind of like sort of purplish skin. It's fair, it's lighter skin, but it's got a little bit of warmth and like a suggestion of purple. So that is it. How I did theirs. The other Daughters of Cain that I've had, there's a few more warm layers. There's a Terminus Stone layer, I think. I've written it down, but to give just a little bit more warmth and make them look less, I don't know, not dead, but
Dull?
Subterranean.
Okay.
Or like living in the shadows or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So, like Kat said, yeah, it was a lot of dark colors as a start. So all that's already been done up until now is the base coat over the whole model of the Phoenician purple, and the skin. So the skin is complete. Oh, and I also did, some of them have hair, which is really fun. We're going to do a lot of fluorescence on that. As you can see, I'll grab one that has some hair, some cool hair.
Ooh,
And you can see we do.
Pump in a little bit closer and see.
Yeah, we do a lot of fluorescence on the hair here. So the fluorescence on the hair is honest. The fluorescent is a big part of this model, which is nice because in some ways it means you don't have, after you've gotten your airbrush base coats down, there's not a whole lot left to do. That's not exactly true. There are things to do, but the fluorescence carries you a long way. I also do this thing where I have done to me these look like those like fold over yoga pants, right? That have like the folding like high waist, the pants that they have on. So I kind of like painted them to look like that. I don't actually think that's what Khanite Shadow Stalkers wear, but it just looked like that. So I was like, I'm doing it. So yeah, I've got some fluorescence to do, some clothes to paint, and listen, I'm not getting through all 10 of a whole new unit today. I'll just let you guys know if you're expecting that. Yeah, but I'm gonna get pretty far on them.
Yeah, cool. No, they look really cool. I like how the fluorescent, it's a big part of the model, but that's not necessarily like everything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially holding the two up together. They both look really good, but obviously the fluorescent is what stands out the most.
Yeah, you want something there, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with how they turned out, and hopefully Lisa Frank would be proud.
Yeah, like I think everyone in chat is really that's what's catching their eyes, the fluorescence.
Yeah, we always like to do like a top 5 or something like that today, and I want to jump into today's kind of early because for whatever reason, like I said, I kind of came in today assuming a lot of people did not know what like Lisa Frank's style and stuff like that was.
Really?
And then I found out I was very wrong about that. Like you knew what it was, Adrian knew what it was. I already knew that Adrian knew because I've talked about it before. But he was like, yeah, I remember like I saw people in chat mentioning like school supplies, right? Like oh yeah.
That was a big thing. It was. I think even when we were doing a little bit more research, by research I just mean like quick Google searches earlier, it was just a very commercial thing.
Yeah, very much it's pop art, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would probably even have a problem with using the term art at all. Like it's design, right? It was a design kind of aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on who you're talking to, but
sure.
Yeah. Before we get into that, though, I want to say thank you, Super Reedy.
Oh yeah,
welcome back, Zach. And I'm assuming Meg in chat. Hope you both enjoyed the break. Got a friend who's big on doing fluorescent sketches. Think I might have to show her the stream. Please do.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, the fluorescence is very fun to work with. We should chat a little bit about it. I do think like fluorescent paint and using fluorescence on models Oh, man, I don't know. I feel like it has the potential to go wrong. I think it's one of those things that you have to really kind of give some thought about like why you're using it and what you're going to use it for. Like, I was nervous when I did these, to be honest.
Or were you like scared that it was going to turn out right?
So I did some work on paper, and I was happy with how it came out. And I've used these paints for projects before other than miniatures, but I was worried, honestly, that they would look insane, which they do. But I was worried that they would look insane in a bad way. Or I was worried that they wouldn't match the rest of my army. But they do. And I'm actually very happy with how they contrast the rest of the army. I'm happy with it. So, but I would say that like it is a little scary. I don't know. Scary is a strong word.
It's different. It's different. And I think anytime you do anything different, especially with, entire units, it can be a little bit scary because, like, you got to paint all of them to match that, essentially.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, because it might look good on, like, one model, but really how is it going to look as a group? I think that's another thing that you kind of have to take into consideration as well. So
you do, and you have to have a little bit of faith and trust kind of in the process. Can I tell you guys one of my favorite paints? Actually, I haven't used. You guys just did a stream on the new contrast paints. I'm actually using an old contrast paint. It's the new version of this color is called Leviathan Purple, I think. Mm-hmm. But the old version is called Shyish Purple, and it's a contrast, and it's like just an insanely dark purple, almost black. And I've been using it on my daughters all over the place, and it's so cool. I love it over purple. Over Phoenician purple, it just makes it look like, I mean, like, a darker purple. But over Phoenician purple that's also been dusted with AK titanium white, it turns it back into, it like, you get these natural highlights, right? Because the way, obviously, it lays over top of the purple that's been contrasted with the white versus that which has not been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in general, I love that technique of putting brightness and then darker, transparent stuff over top of it to have the highlights remain. But I also really love the way, Kat, that these really dark purple contrasts look over black.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that probably like a month ago or so. We were like, it really doesn't make that big of a difference unless you're actually looking at it. And it gives this like sort of subtle tint of like black but not black.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I'm very into it. Now I will also say real quick, one of the things I am doing, the Khanite Shadow Stalker unit is fascinating because it's a Warcry band, and so that means like the Warcry bands are cool because each miniature is like a very unique thing. Mm-hmm. And in Warcry, each miniature has its own rules almost, and then in Sigmar, it's like they all have the same weapons or whatever, right?
Right.
They make it a little more simple because you're also, in addition to like these 9 models, you're playing with like 100 other ones, right? But I didn't want to buy 2 of the exact same because I would have like all these exact poses, and there are some swaps you can do like weapons and stuff. But I actually have picked up the new Nether Maze box, which comes with more Shadow Stalkers, only 4. But I worked them into this new unit. So this new unit has the 4 new Nether Maze Shadow Stalkers, including the Shroud Queen, which is like their like champion person. And then I did try to do a little more conversions on the 5. It's a unit of 9, by the way. I know people are like wondering why I keep saying like 4 and 5. And every unit in like every GW game is a unit of 10. This is weirdly a unit of 9.
Oh, strange.
Yeah, it's very weird. But the new Nether Maze models are super cool. I haven't looked at the Skaven yet. I'm, excuse me, splitting that with our friend Bryce, who's Skaven have been on the channel. But yeah, they're really cool models. Okay,
Yeah.
I have a question. So I've been blabbing a lot. Can we, before we get to these super chats,
Sure.
can we talk about some design aesthetics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did want to, like I said, I wasn't sure if people knew what Lisa Frank was or not.
Right.
So the thing I wanted to do today is talk about why I picked this as a design aesthetic. And then I said to Kat, I was like, Kat, we need to do like something, like we always do like a top 5. And I was like, what design aesthetic do you want to paint a miniature has? So I kind of put Kat on the spot and made her like go through and be like, what design aesthetic would I do?
Yeah, that was a question I think that we eventually got to.
We eventually got to, yeah.
But let's do yours first.
Yeah, so look, I want to talk, Adrian and I were chatting a little bit about the Lisa Frank design aesthetic today, because when he made the thumbnail, he forgot green in the fluorescent rainbow. And I was like, dude, it's got to have green. I was like, part of what makes Lisa Frank design aesthetic amazing is that it's not 1 or 2 or 3 fluorescent colors. It's like always at least 4, right? You've got to get like...
It's a full rainbow, usually.
And I think the addition of the green, especially, breaks it away from being like sunset vibes.
Right.
There are Lisa Frank sunset images, but they also include green. So, like, just always green in a Lisa Frank, piece of design, art.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys remember all the little cute kittens and puppies that were there? This picture is the one I want to show to start off, because it just, by the way, the other 2 pictures don't give us more information.
No,
they're just more
Lisa
samples
Frank.
of Lisa Frank. But I guess I also wonder how popular Lisa Frank was outside of the U.S. If we have
that would be interesting.
If we have anyone in the UK or Australia, any of our Australian or UK fans, I'd be very curious. Like, did you guys see this outside of the U.S. or I mean, when you were younger? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, because there are some things that are like super huge in the U.S., but like it's just not really a thing.
Lisa Frank
elsewhere.
feels like a
Or,
very
you know,
American.
vice versa.
It feels like a very American aesthetic, right? And look, So what was like your first Lisa Frank? Listen, I was a boy in the '90s in rural America. I owned no Lisa Frank things.
Oh, okay.
And as a boy in the '90s, in middle school and maybe in high school and elementary, I didn't want Lisa Frank things.
Okay,
But I remember
this didn't interest you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, not as a kid. It wasn't until I think later, as I grew up, where I was like, you know what? Like, I really admired the insanity that went on here.
Wow. Okay. When do you think that became a thing?
I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. Like, I went through like art school and stuff like that. Not art school, but music school, and like doing like studying of different art topics and stuff. And
Right.
I've always kind of admired output, like when people can get something, even if it's commercial, right, and then just crank out and they have a style. And I think Lisa Frank's style was like, she designed this thing. And she was like, you know what? Everyone's either going to like this or hate it. And she was like, but either way, it's just going to keep happening. You know what I mean? Like, and I think even people that hate, it's one of those things where even if you hate it, there's still an element of you that like, you don't really hate it. You're just like, it's so insane. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean you're going to paint your car Lisa Frank or anything like that. But like, I don't know. I've always kind of felt like artists who just double down on something bonkers deserve a little bit of admiration.
Fair. I mean, I think you would consider her. What I thought was interesting was when we were looking it up, like a lot of things are like she's considered a businesswoman first before an artist, which I think says a lot, because she even acknowledges that like a lot of this stuff was simply just commercial.
It's just commercial, yeah.
Which, you can feel one way or the other about it, but I found that interesting. I don't think that makes her less of an artist, but it was definitely eye-opening. Because, when Lisa Frank was like a big thing, I was a child. And my big thing about it was like, notebooks and pencils and pencil cases and backpacks and stuff. It was simply just a back to school thing. And then that was it. I do remember. Yeah,
I think that's basically the market. Like, only as our age group has aged, has it become like, now there's shirts and shoes and like clothing and stuff like that.
I wonder if that was a thing. I don't know. Because I mostly just wore like basketball shorts and stuff. I was a major tomboy when I was a kid. But I do remember, like, it wasn't even like good quality stuff, because I remember getting an eraser and hating it, but it was cute, and that was the thing.
Yeah, I also just love, like, you have to remember, this is like the 90s, right? Like, the 90s was like the Dolphins. The 90s was like a combination of, you had like the design aesthetic in the 90s, you had like kind of how older people would have designed their houses, and it was a lot of like mauve and pastels. Like literally, I wish I had taken some pictures of walking when you entered the office park that Titan Studio is in. Mm-hmm. The whole carpet, everything is like was designed in 1992. Yeah, which is like the year Kat was born. Right? Yes, like, sorry, I just doxed your age, but people could figure it out because I think they know how old I am. Anyway, the point is, it was very soft pastel colors, and then on the other end you had like Hot Topic, and you had like goth stuff, right? It was all black and dark purple, dark reds and stuff. And Lisa Frank just comes out of nowhere and is like, you know what? The world needs some color. And just like, boom, like this insanity. And then it was like, hey, everybody loves dolphins. Everybody loves unicorns. Cats and puppies and dogs and ice cream. And it was just like so excessive. It's very Slaanesh, right? It's just like everything everyone loves and bright colors all the time.
All the time, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it was a phenomenon, but I also think the reason why it's coming back now is mostly just because of it's considered vintage at this point.
Well, this is the thing though, right? Like, look, it's synthwave adjacent, but there are some styles that have not gone away, right? Like they enter this vintage territory where they're like always kind of cool, right? And you can always do them kind of, but then every now and then they come back big, but they never get old. You know what I mean? And I think weirdly, like, look, I'm going to submit. I don't think I'm wrong here.
Lisa Frank is eternal.
I think Lisa Frank has become somewhat eternal. Like, I think you're always going to, if you see this style applied by an artist at any, like, applied applied well, you're always going to be like, hey, I don't necessarily love it, but it's a style, it's cool, like, they did it. You know what I mean? You're never going to be like, what is going on here? Unless you're like, what is going on here? And like,
unless you are.
In which case you're doing it because it's insane, and that's kind of part of the point. Yeah, I feel like Lisa Frank is eternal vintage, like.
Yeah. I guess my main curiosity, and this is probably something that, like, I could just Google, but, like, what exactly was it that everyone was drawn to about this? Like, why was it so big? Out of everything, right? Like, out of everything to make it out of the 90s that we remember, you know, and because there's a lot of, like, niche stuff of, like, oh, but that's not around anymore, and that's definitely, like, it hit a smaller audience than Lisa Frank's stuff did. Yeah. So, like, not everyone remembers it or whatever, but I just wonder, like, why this? What about it? What people were drawn to?
What makes it? I mean, I think it's just so outrageous, right?
Yeah, but this isn't the only thing, right? Like, that's not the only thing that's crazy and wild and, you know, whatever about the 90s specifically. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to hear. I mean, chat, definitely tell us, you know, your fond memories or not so fond memories of Lisa Frank. Yeah. Because I do remember getting, like, a plethora of, like, notebooks and pencils stolen from me. And
because they were Lisa. Oh,
because Lisa Frank was Lisa Frank. Yeah.
Lisa Frank was so hot it was being stolen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember.
And copycatted, and, you know, you had, like, off-brand Lisa Frank stuff.
Oh, there was off-brand Lisa Frank stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you got like the dollar store Lisa Frank stuff, and it was like, instead of like a unicorn, it was like a scary-looking horse. It's like the equivalent nowadays. There's always that meme of like, oh, Seth mentions Thomas Kincade. I want to talk about Thomas Kincade. Good call out, Seth. Because I love Thomas Kincade. Same reason. Yeah, Thomas Kincade is like
a commercial painter.
Yeah, and it's like. But listen, it doesn't mean that he's not good. Like, he's He didn't want to paint about the Berlin Wall. He didn't want to paint about political topics. He was like, dude, I just want to paint these like idyllic things.
Really, really lots of colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of light. Lots
Painter.
of colors.
What was he called? The Painter of Light.
Sure.
He's from around here, you know. Marin County.
I believe it, mostly just because I remember walking into like malls and you had the Thomas Kincade store.
Well, listen, Kat.
Yeah.
That was everywhere.
Oh,
they had those
really?
in malls
Oh,
around.
okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Yeah. Thomas Kincade is cool. Oh, dude, Seth. Oh, Thomas Kincade is another artist I need to do. Not an army, maybe, or maybe a unit if it makes sense, or maybe a terrain board.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How would you pull that off? Because it's just it's a bunch of like splotches of color.
Listen, you know what? The person who's already making something that's getting close to a Thomas Kincade board is you. Your cherry blossom stuff is like you're almost there already. You could pull off massive Thomas Kincade.
Well, that's good.
That's not an insult, by the way.
That I'm not going to change anything.
No, don't change anything. But I'm like honestly, I would look at some of your techniques for how you're doing that board, and I would be like, I think I just need to do this, but more insane.
Right, but more Lisa Frank.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny that Sean Williams was like top 5 Lisas go. That's also funny because like Lisa was like this big thing in the 90s. It was like Lisa Simpson, Lisa Kudrow. Lisa was like one of those 90s names. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just like Seattle was like the 90s city. You know what I mean? Like,
I did have a lot of friends named Lisa growing up. So yeah, it was a big thing. So, yeah, I mean, I guess polar opposite of that. We can get into my aesthetic.
Your aesthetic is not polar opposite of Lisa Frank. I would argue it's not, but
I would argue it's maybe like nighttime Lisa Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out.
Yeah. So mine is Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Stuff, which really honestly because of the video game, like if I just Googled Cyberpunk, it just showed me it was mostly the video game stuff. So, you know, I had to dig around a little bit, but
can I ask? Yeah, how would you incorporate that? Like if you ever what would you do with cyberpunk vibes in minis? Like how would you pull that off?
Well, okay, my main thing is it's not even just cyberpunk. It's like also very Blade Runner-y.
Mm-hmm.
Is like almost dystopian, sad, but like here's all these bright flashing lights in front of your face to distract you from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was discovering that a lot of these are like, it's raining and everything is wet, but because of that, it's reflecting all of these lights around and like there's no escape from the distraction, which is kind of sad now that I'm like talking about it. Well, sure.
I mean, it's meant to be, right? It is meant to be. You know,
dystopian, yeah. I mean, especially Blade Runner, but the rest of the stuff, yeah. So my like thing is and why a lot of these have like vehicles in them. It's very very vehicle centric, but
you like painting vehicles.
I do like painting vehicles, but I do also really want to practice light reflection, and that's I think what draws me to this.
That's such a cool and interesting way to look at a technique and say, you know what, the reason how this technique is something I know I need to get better at, but I don't just want to sit down and like deal with this technique in a textbook style. I want to actually, I want to do it because there's something I want to do with it. You know what I mean? Like you want to do something with light refraction and it's cyberpunk, right? You want to
very specifically neon lights, light reflection. Yeah. And there was this music video. I don't even remember what song it was, but I saved a still from it, and it was simply because it was a close up of her face, and it was almost like you couldn't see her, like her skin color or anything like that, and there was all these lights essentially like spinning around her face, and so you got all these different light reflections.
It sounds like a chromatics video.
Maybe. I have no idea.
Interesting.
I have no idea. I just took a screenshot of it because I'm like, this is what I want.
Have you ever seen the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling? It's not cyberpunk, but it's like synthwave and has a lot of this kind of going on.
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think I have. But it's been recommended to me, so
Yeah, you
maybe
should
I
check
will
it. You should
later
check
on.
it.
But yeah,
I mean, it's got Ryan Gosling, right? Like, can't be bad.
fair. I mean, so does the new Blade Runner. So
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
He talks less in Drive than he does in Blade Runner, too.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, this is mainly my thing. Of like usually when I'm like, ooh, I want to practice this, or I think this would be really cool to learn how to paint and bring into like a 3D miniature world.
I would love to see you do that. What
find
what
it
model would you
aesthetic.
do? Like, if you had to pick a model right now to do cyberpunk aesthetic,
A tank.
a tank, like what kind? Like an Imperial tank?
No,
or-
no, not a 40K tank. No. I have two like chibi tanks. I think they're from like World of Tanks.
Okay.
But they're little tiny. I think honestly they're the same as well too. I just have two boxes of like mini Panzers,
Oh, okay.
and I would do it very similar to this car of like it's black but it's wet, so like very glossy.
Like what you're seeing, the tank is black.
Yeah.
It's at night, but you're seeing all the light comes from the fact that it's driving down a wet street and there's neon signs.
Yeah, or it's, even if it's just like posing there, that's totally fine
Yeah.
too. But I think the other cool thing too, because I'm really into making dioramas, is like building the buildings and making those neon signs.
The actual sources of light are
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be super. That'd be super cool.
That's my thing. And also because it's a tank, I think it would just lend to the whole dystopian thing to it as well too.
Yeah.
And I'd have like some cute graffiti on it. I think that'd be nice.
Chat. What is the Necromunda gang? That is the police. They're like enforcers. I forget-
Orlok?
No, they're like the police. I forget what they're called. They'd be super cool.
Yeah, the only ones I know are Orlok and Cawdor.
No, those are like the religious, scary, weird guys. These are like police. I think one of them has like a cyber. I think one of them has like a cyber mastiff dog or something too with it. Like when somebody tells me, I'm gonna know, and that of course makes sense. That wasn't a particularly intelligent thing to say just now, but it's going to jog my memory. What is the Necromunda police guys? They're like usually painted gray and yellow. They're super cool. They'd be really cool in this kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, and
Cyberpunk.
I know also like Infinity would be as well too. I'm just not a big fan of like a lot of Infinity models. But they do have like they do have some cute stuff.
Palantine, yeah.
Yeah.
Meng models too?
Yes.
Is that what you have?
The Toon tank line by Meng Models.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. And they're like really cheap too. I think they're like $14 or something like that for like a little tiny chibi tank. The only one that I've ever been able to find 2 separate times was the mini Panzer. So I don't know if like the other ones are just more popular or whatever, but
So why you seemed off put when I said what 40K if you would do it on a 40K model? Is there is there a reason you wouldn't do it on a 40K model?
Well, one, I think like even the smallest of the tanks are too big for what I want to do.
Okay.
But also like especially even with this guy, like there's too many guns, there's too many like missiles,
It'd be,
there's
like,
too
insane.
many. No, it's not even that. I just don't want that to be the focus.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing that you could look into might be like a Tau or an Eldar, where all the components are interior, right? So like, you've seen my Tau stuff before. It's like flat, right? The vehicles are just much more flat. They still have tanks and
Yeah,
guns and
I think
missiles,
if I
but
was
they
gonna
don't-
do a Tau thing, honestly, I think it would be like some sort of battle suit. I think that would be cute. That would almost
That'd be cool.
have like a diva. I forgot what game she's from, but I'm sure chat knows what I mean. But
Overwatch.
yeah, there you go.
Look, see, I know video game stuff.
Yeah, it would have that sort of feel to it, which it would be cool. But I have the tanks already, so
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I might as well just go with that. But yeah.
Well, we do have a few super chats, right? Thank you, Joe. Amazing work, you two. What a great stream. Thank you, Joe. Wishing you and everyone in chat a great end to the week. Lisa Frank. Yeah, we have some Lisa Frank fans. Joe, Lisa Frank fan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think most people remember Lisa Frank. If you were of that age.
Yeah,
right?
I think if you're not of that age, it's also one of those things like, okay, so I can tell you another design aesthetic of like a pop design aesthetic that's kind of crazy, and is from at least I want to say the 80s or 70s that I did not grow up with is Rat Fink. Do you remember Rat Fink? Or like you've seen it before if you look it up, right? Like it's this like weird, disgusting green rat cartoon, and it had like these. It's the person that did Meg's tattoos. Meg is actually no, it's not. It's not. What's his name? Never mind. Ed Hardy. Ed Hardy. No, he didn't do Rat Fink, but Ed Hardy's another design aesthetic. I think of like the two of them like similar though, like like a design aesthetic, right? Like Ed Hardy's another one of these like pop kind of design people that's like it's like I guess like Thomas Kincade as well. Roth, Ed Roth, different Ed, yeah, Ed Roth.
Thank you, Meg.
Yeah, thank you. I know we need to like always have
the keyboard here,
like a keyboard here, or like a person in a sound booth that can like give us information when we don't know what we're talking about. Like just like weird things, like right. And I remember like, I grew up when I was very young without the internet, and somehow I still like would see like I'd be out somewhere and I'd see like a Rat Fink sticker or something, and I was like, what is this? Like, why do I keep seeing this disgusting green rat with his eyes just like bulging out of his head? Remember Garbage Pail Kids or Garbage? Yeah, do you remember those?
I mean, I honestly,
it's like
you'd have to show me.
I feel like you
yeah. It would be like a maybe I'd remember if I knew it kind of thing of like the moment someone mentioned the name of the Necromunda gang, you're like, yeah, that's it, right?
Right.
But off the top of my head now,
okay.
Honestly, I'm trying to think of like any other like big name brand that was a thing, other than Barbie, right? When I was a kid.
Well, Barbie stuff goes through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Though, also, right? Like, I think that's like different. There are certain things that are timeless with Barbie, but like overall, I feel like Barbie goes through a lot of changes. So it's not quite
stays relevant.
Yeah, it stays relevant in its own way. It's not quite planting a flag in the sand like Lisa Frank or something and being like, this is it, right?
Right. Well, and also the fact that they're making the new Barbie movie.
Also with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. And,
this stream sponsored by Ryan Gosling.
Sponsored.
Just kidding. He's not. It's
brought
not.
to you by. Yeah.
That would be cool though.
That would be really cool. Ryan Gosling is into tabletop hopping. You know where to find us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wade. I'm a graphic designer that loves lots of colors. So with this hobby, I really enjoy creating a unique aesthetic in my head for an army. What 40K army do you have an awesome color scheme in mind for? What about Age of Sigmar?
Okay. You want to look, you are not traditionally an army painter, but
no.
You are. Can you answer any of these? Could you answer any of these?
I mean, the first thing that came to mind is my Gloomspite.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very Lisa Frank in a way. Not so much fluorescent, but pastel rainbow.
And you also have kind of like a number of different colors going contrasted with like darker colors randomly, which she does. She has like a lot of black, like the leopard prints or leopard or tiger stripes or something like that going on randomly, right? Sorry, I'm looking for something to do a quick mask with.
Oh, there's Post-it notes over here.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
I mean, other than that, I was doing like fluorescent fish in a way on my Conquest raptors, because they're raptors, but fluorescent birds.
That's right.
One of my favorite color schemes, and it comes up quite often, like especially with fan stuff, is green and gold. I like that a lot. But the cool thing about 40K, and honestly Age of Sigmar as well too, is you can kind of get away with doing whatever you want. There is sort of like, I feel a bit of a pressure to stick with the lore and like do that, but really at the end of the day you can kind of do
I hope I hope that that's not too much of pressure, because it really shouldn't be that way. Maybe there's a couple. I mean, like, yeah, it's like ultramarines are blue if you want a different marine chapter, but there's also that's why they made it so that there's like offshoot chapters, not first founding or whatever they're called. Why I'm bad at marine stuff, guys. Sorry, but you should be able to paint anything any color you want. I mean, I guess the pressure that's a bummer that people feel that pressure, I think.
Yeah. Well, ever since they
get
made the offshoot like chapters, that was kind of like here you can kind of do whatever you want. That was like their thing. If I'm to understand, one of the reasons why they did it was so that people weren't always just painting blood angels or imperial fists and stuff like that, or iron hands and whatever. But yeah, what army do you have an awesome color scheme in mind for? I mean, I talked about it last week, but I do have my Storm Talon, which I built already. I need to apply some heat to it in certain places to bend it a little bit. But honestly, I think I might do a Legion of the Damned Storm Talon. I'm really enjoying this, and I do have more spirit hosts to sacrifice and add to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But it's black and it's on fire is essentially what the color scheme is. So, it depends on what you want to do. And then for AOS, my Gloomspite stuff, which is pastel.
Yeah, who is this from?
Wade.
Wade. Thank you for the support, Wade. And I have been, for AOS, really working on the daughters for now. Really want this to be sort of my main army. I want to have a lot of, like, almost everything. I have still a lot of great plastic to get through. But I will probably take a break from it after this unit to work on a Bone Reapers army that I actually had some people assemble for me. So it's also, and I've done a bunch of assembly for it too, which I hate doing, but it's all assembled. It's ready to get painted. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing like Bone, because they're Bone Reapers. I'm going to be doing Bone, and then lots of light blue, like sky blue, white, and yellow.
Yeah, I mean, minus the yellow. That's essentially like my terrain over there is like bone, light blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like blue, white, and yellow together a lot. So, yeah, I know I have that in mind. For 40K, I have kind of a next project in mind as far as an army goes. And I have thought kind of differently from me. I've been thinking more about style, how I want to paint it, than I've been thinking about the colors I want to paint it. And I'm thinking maybe I'll get into oil washing a little bit more for this army. But I'm also thinking, I was looking at all the new contrasts and shades today, and I was like, it'd also be really interesting to do an army totally with airbrushing white and then like shades and contrasts over top of it, which I've never really done before, and I know is like a thing. So I'm not sure though what colors I'll do for that next project when I get to it.
Yeah, my number one suggestion is to just Google fan art. That's always like kind of what inspires me. Because at first, when I started looking up like miniatures for Legion of the Damned, I was like, I don't like this. They had like these weird, tacky, like Harley Davidson flames painted on a lot of them, and you know that's like older stuff. But then when I was looking at fan art and the challenge that was presented to me of like, how do I interpret this kind of like softer flame sort of thing, not painted on flame.
Right.
And that's what inspired me. So it's the challenge really that like got to me of it all. But yeah, I don't know. I think Sylvaneth are like really cool. And because they're just elves, any sort of like earthy tones or like a high elf sort of paint scheme with the blues and golds and...
For Sylvaneth or for Lumineth?
Lumineth, there you go.
Lumineth,
Sorry,
okay.
yeah, not Sylvaneth. Sylvaneth are the trees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But Sylvaneth is also really cool too because it's, you know, it's literally nature.
Yeah.
You can pick a plant.
There's a lot of cool ways to get inspiration for a Sylvaneth army and like have it be a thing. If that makes sense. But like there's a lot of interesting ways to just be cool, I want it to be autumn. But I want it to be autumn in the Rockies where there's a lot of yellow aspen trees or whatever, right? Like as opposed to autumn in Maine where it's like red and orange and also yellow. You know what I mean? You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I agree. And Lumineth, yeah, just a beautiful army. I still maintain maybe the most beautiful line of models GW
has currently. Yeah, I would agree. So yeah, there's a bunch of different things you can do. If you want to stick more to lore, then honestly, if you're looking for cool color schemes, I think Age of Sigmar is going to be a little bit better with lore freedom. But yeah, there's a lot.
If you're worried about that, you might be right on that. I think there's a lot you can do with some armies, but there are. It's also almost like in 40K, it feels like a lot of people start a 40K army because of the lore, and they're like, oh man, I love Black Templars, or I love Raven Guard, now I need to learn how to paint black. Whereas it seems like you're right, like Sigmar, I've kind of always felt like, I'm like, well, maybe I do like an army, I want an army for its playstyle or something, but the color options feel like endless, like I could do anything here.
Yeah, I mean, because even with Gloomspite, like typically the little dudes, the squigs are red, unless you have like the pale one, then you know it's albino. But yeah, I was like, cool. Mine are pink. They're like a lightish red.
You see a lot of
they're
different
purple.
Gloomspite. I mean, even I think in like GW books, I've seen different colors.
Like yeah, okay, then yeah. Have fun with it is really what we're trying to get.
We like to have fun.
Yes.
As we say around here,
yeah. Thank you, Liberty Fires. Kat and Zach. Ooh, more emphasis on your name this time.
Oh yeah, more explanation points. Very subtle the way he psychologically
chooses favorites.
Favorites. We love Liberty Fires. Thank you so much to Liberty Fires as always. And look, as always, ask a question if you want. And look, we don't not love your lists. So
yeah.
Top 5, top 3. Oh, that was base Dorothy actually. Wait, what did she ask? Top 3, top 5s.
Top 3, top 5s.
Yeah, the other way around would be really hard actually.
Yeah.
Top 5, top 3s.
Yeah, I don't know how old you are, Bridger, but I'm gonna assume sure. Yeah, we're roughly the same age.
I think so. I'm assuming. That was pretty good. I'm assuming that I was talking earlier about the '90s design when you walk into here at the office park. I'm guessing it's older than all of you guys except for maybe me.
Ooh, I don't know.
Like I can't imagine that it's less old.
It's pretty dated.
pretty
It's got
dated.
like 90s like doctor's office feel to it.
90s doctor office feel. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Until you come into here, and then it's very much like it's a bunch of 20-something, 30-something-year-olds
With a bunch of toys.
with a bunch of toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you again, Wade. Check out the chopper scene, specifically big shows like Born Free. You'll see a lot of Frazetta style stuff, but the overall design concept from the stance of the bike to the paint job pushes out some really cool choppers.
Oh, choppers like bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, right? Like I know that if you're like a choppers person, me about to say that I occasionally watched the show Orange County Choppers like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Look, I mean, it's I don't know. Nobody wants to admit they watched it, but like we did, right?
It was like a reality show without it, with a focus on bikes.
Well, in a way, it was really like two guys yelling at each other, right?
Yeah.
And that's mostly what we want to see on our TV is two guys yelling at each other. Like that's what most people want to see. I mean, think about when you're at home and you're like, we live in an apartment, right? If you're at home and like there's a fight, like you're at home on a Sunday hanging out, and then like you hear like people fighting, you stop whatever you're doing. And you're like looking out the
Oh, I'm
window.
gonna listen
like,
to this.
Mute
Yeah.
the TV.
What's going on? Yeah.
Like you've been watching like a favorite show for 4 straight hours, and you'll just stop, mute it, not even pause it. You'll mute it
Yeah.
to like 2 random people to hear them yell at each other.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, it says a lot about us as a species, I guess.
Yeah.
Not sure what, but
That we're,
doesn't seem great.
Nosy. Yeah.
Nosy, yeah.
Yeah. We like other people's drama, not our own. Other people.
Yeah, I would definitely check out what you said though, because I don't know anything about choppers other than Orange County Chopper, and that probably means I don't know anything about choppers. I'm guessing, but I do love like the weird design aesthetics, people attached to one movement of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're really cool, but it was the cheesy flames that I did not appreciate about a lot of like the older Legion of the Damned minis.
The cheesy flame. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. So I'm just painting this guy up to the point where I would be satisfied to glue him in.
Can we do a little shoulder zoom? I'll kind of show what I've been up to.
Sure.
So as you guys can see, one of the ways you can help make the fluorescent paints pop, and I'll be using, by the way, Vallejo Mecha line fluorescent paints. Make sure I have my green. Lisa Frank demands green.
Now, is there a reason why that one specifically, or is it just what you had?
Why I'm using these?
The Vallejo.
Yeah, I've had them for a while, and I've used them, and I like them.
Okay.
But I haven't tried any other fluorescent paints, to be honest. So one of the things you can do, or I think you almost need to do, if you try to put, and actually you can see it's helpful, it's a cool look with the pink. The pink is the last color, and you can see here where the pink goes up into the purple. I happen to find that it looks great, but you see how dull it gets. And like here, this is a good example where the pink is over the white, and then where the pink is not over the white, and it's pretty dramatic. So
Yeah.
you want to put these fluorescent paints, if you want them to be as vivid as possible, you want to put them over white, and that's why I've done white all over hair, robes, wherever they have them. This model right here is one of the ones I custom built. And she doesn't have anything on her to be fluorescent. So I'm going to probably, this is her head. It's a Sister Slaughter head, so it's like this mask. So I think I'm going to have to give her a ponytail. I have some bits at home, and I'll give her a ponytail so that she has some fluorescent hair, ombre hair. Otherwise, it's going to look weird. There's going to be this one without any fluorescent on it. It's not going to work. So I gotta do that for her. But the rest have all been given their little, their little white ombre thing. And now we do fluorescent, and we go green to yellow to orange to pink. So we start with green.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in seeing this process.
Seeing Lisa Frank happen?
Yeah, in particular.
Yeah. Have you used these before? Or have you've used other fluorescent paints?
Yeah, I've used those and other fluorescent paints. I know that AK has a line as well too of fluorescents. I've used the Mecha ones, the scale ones, and the AK ones.
What do you like best?
I think it's a tie between the AK and the scale ones. Not to say that the Vallejo ones aren't good,
Mm-hmm.
but the Vallejo ones are very specifically for airbrushing, and so they're a bit thin.
Mm-hmm.
When you're hand painting really bright colors and it's thin,
It's a pain in the butt.
yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah, and I did hand paint some of these because you guys can see I did like these like the highlighting on them here. But like Kat's saying, it in some ways I like it because you're first you paint the white, and then you kind of very carefully like do the blends over top of it. So it's okay, but she's not wrong. I might, I don't know, if they were close enough matches, I'd probably use both. I'd use this for airbrushing and use like one of the other ones you're talking about.
Oh, for hand painting stuff, yeah. Yeah, and I mean the airbrushing like consistency, especially if you're just gonna glaze them over white, that's totally fine too. And I will agree with you, painting fluorescents on top of like a lighter thing is sort of key to really making them pop.
Yeah.
Because I know that some people said that they struggle with it a little bit, so.
Yeah, over top of white.
Yeah.
Definitely is the move. I'm in. Very excited. Actually, I haven't played with this unit yet. My current one that is painted. At this point, my first game I play with it will have 2 of them. It'll be fun. Some crazy fluorescent models.
Yeah. I mean, even that like little bit of green that you're spraying on.
It's so cool, right?
Yeah. Which is crazy how much it pops with just that, because you can kind of see one of your other ones like over to the right, and the green doesn't pop that much. So like using all of the other colors to blend everything else out helps fade it back down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't look so crazy.
Well, that's too bad because I want it to look crazy.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, it definitely ties everything in, I think, which is really cool. Thank you, Broken Chef. No question. Much love to all. John is a fiend. That felt good to say after my vacation. John is a fiend.
Vacation. Broken Chef, where did you go on vacation? I wasn't on last night's show, so I don't know if this has been talked about. Yeah, I also had a well, I kind of had like a work vacation, but it was nice to, as much as I love being on stream, it was nice to have a week off from the stream. But I was ready to come back, that's for sure.
Yeah, you start to miss it after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've had a couple of weeks off. You've gotten busy with a lot of
like 2 weeks off and 1 week on, 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
I think.
Game Castle stuff.
Yeah, and it sucks because like it wasn't even like a vacation type thing. I was gone for other work obligations, but there was a point where, especially that that first week back, it feels a little weird. Of like, do I even know how to do this again?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think today, have I painted? I don't think I've painted since I got back. I've been assembling a bunch, and then yesterday we did a lot of pink foam work. I think today is the first day I've painted since I've been back, so it's like 10 days. And I was doing it before, prepping the models before the stream, and I was like, oh my, actually the weirdest thing that happened to me was that for a minute I felt like I couldn't see anything very good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we have a ton of lights and stuff, but I'm pretty sure people can kind of tell like how many shadows are going in all these different directions.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit hard on the eyes, like to adjust to when you first sit down.
When you first sit down, yeah, it takes kind of adjusting to, and using these desk lamps for sure. Yeah, absolutely. How's this guy coming along? Your tank?
Oh, I was just working on this guy because this is a guy that I puttied, so I needed him to be sort of like up to where everyone else is. But I'm not using the same colors, so it's a little weird. But I am gonna go back in and blend everything through. So I just put rough colors on him, but now I get to do some fun stuff.
What does that mean on this tank? What does fun stuff mean on this tank?
Fiery glows.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, yeah, I've decided. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do like a glow underneath it, almost like a weird,
like neon.
Yeah,
like, neon?
like a car
so
underglow
cool.
kind of
Man,
thing.
I really want you to do. Now I really want you to do neon.
But I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
So.
So oh my god, the Legion of the Damn Tank is gonna have neon.
Yeah.
Look, I'm into it. I think Lisa Frank would be into it. Oh yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah. I just want like subtle stuff. Now I wish these weren't already on it. I think it'd be easier to get like a glow underneath it. But it's okay. It's okay. I can get it.
Are you gonna end up with like a Legion of the Damned army like a year from now?
Oh, I don't know, because this isn't my tank, so I do have to give it back. I'm sure the person I'm painting it for will let me borrow it if I need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't mine, so we'll we'll figure it out.
That's weird. It actually doesn't say unmute it, so I don't know. Maybe I'm quiet. Levels, Zach. I think it's okay. No, it doesn't.
No, that looks like it's just mine.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's check the receiver.
We're gonna.
I'll check it if you want.
We're gonna figure it out. Yeah. Let's do this. Thank you, chat.
Oh yeah, this one ran out of batteries.
What number was it? Oh, 2, right? 2. Yeah. I replaced 3. So anyway. How's everyone doing? We're just gonna listen to the nice dulcet tones of an airbrush.
Okay, how's this? There we go. Yep, cool, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay. Mic swap. No, we've been having like weird battery things. Like our batteries have been lying to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So.
Look, we might need to get new batteries. Can you guys believe it? What a time. What a great inside look at what goes on in a.
Because we do use rechargeable batteries, so it's not like we are throwing away a bunch of batteries all the time.
That'd be bad. Actually, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, how the neon's coming?
I am very scared, so it's very slow.
Did you imagine you'd be doing like a Lisa Frank thing a little bit, kind of like neon? It's kind of Lisa Frank.
Is it?
Well, I don't know.
It's Cyberpunk, right?
Oh, it's Cyberpunk. Oh, you're right. Oh, look.
In a way.
So I'm doing the yellow on mine. The yellow's a nice one. The yellow, each layer, I'm not saying anything particularly surprising, but you do want overlap, right? The yellow's kind of nice because you can go on a lot of area with the yellow, like other yellows. It is the least invasive color and the lightest that we're going to be using. So it can go over the green just fine, and then you can do a big area with it, and the orange can go over top of the yellow, and it's pretty fine.
Yellow is also the most translucent. So
I think so. Yeah. Definitely. I think you want to, like, if you're going to do this, you definitely want to give some thought into the order and, like, where you're ending and where you're starting. The fact that my pink goes into purple, if I was doing, like, another fluorescent color after the pink, it would probably be a fluorescent purple. Mm-hmm. So the fact that, like, the robes are purple and then I have the pink, like, I did, believe it or not, put a little bit of thought into that. So it ends up kind of being, like, a good look. And it makes it easier, right? Like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, color placement and, like, order is very, very, very important. Especially when you're
doing Lisa Frank stuff? Oh.
Like a bunch of translucent colors and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I have discovered a flaw with what I'm doing right now.
What's that?
Is I can't put it down until it dries, so, you know. We'll switch. Yeah, and I'm still not sure what color I'm going to do the treads as well too. So really what I'm trying to get right now is the glow effect right up in here.
Oh yeah. Do you want to do it here? Oh, you're nervous about passing
it's
it
very
around.
wet, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Not that I don't trust you.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to touch it. Okay. Yellow. Oh wait, no, hair. Well, look. Normally we do fan stuff later. Actually, I don't know how much are we gonna paint today. Like, I know I'm not gonna finish. Oh, I want to do all my fluorescent stuff for sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We didn't talk about this. Sometimes there's, like, natural stopping points.
Yeah.
Today, that natural stopping point would be, like, probably like 6 a.m. when, like, I'm finished. So we can't do that.
No.
Overnight marathon? Ooh, we should do an overnight marathon. No, never mind. Everyone forget that I ever even suggested an overnight marathon.
You said it.
Yeah.
You said it live on the stream.
Oh my god, what a horrible idea.
Maybe it'll be a thing of like, hey, do you guys want this? And if you want it, let us know.
Because we won't do it.
Because it will be a logistical nightmare to plan out. So, yeah.
I don't know, actually. Like, Bridger stays up very late. I stay up somewhat late. I think Adrian seems to be a little bit of an earlier riser. I think we could actually. Are you like a late?
I'm a late. Yeah.
Late. Okay.
I want to say my typical, like, I'm going to go to sleep. Probably like 2 a.m.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like 12:15, 12:45. Maybe 1:15 at the latest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Bridger's like 4. Or like the next day is when Bridger goes to sleep. So we might actually be able to do it. You know what? I'm going to stop talking about this because we're definitely not.
Let's make promises for other people. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, let's just like be. Yeah, look, I think if Adrian goes to bed early enough, and Bridger goes to bed late enough, and you and I are kind of in the middle, maybe it will work.
Can line up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, on to orange, yellow to orange. And then I will do a little bit of the highlighting. I have to say, this is one of the first times I was telling you this before we went live. This is a thing that I actually, I don't normally do this, but I did not really write down how I did these. And they're different from the rest of my army because I do have sort of a generic thing, a generic way that I paint it. I'm painting most of the daughters, and it covers things like their skin and like their hair, but almost everything on this unit, or a lot of things on this unit, are different, right?
Right.
And so I keep getting to these parts of the unit, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know how I did this. Like the fluorescence is very easy, right? That's like pretty obvious what I did, and I knew that. But other stuff, I'm getting to it and I'm like, ugh, I forgot how I did that. And it was just a reminder.
And you were kind of kicking yourself. And my first question was, oh, did you do it on stream? Because then we can watch it
And
back.
I happened to not do it on stream. And yeah. You know what? I'm also getting, like, before I put the pink on, I'm getting a little bit of fruit striped gum vibe. Do you remember fruit striped gum? Was that a thing?
Is that kind of like the zebra gum?
Yeah, it's the zebra gum.
Yeah.
You just never know. Yeah, it lost its flavor in about 3 seconds.
Yeah. Or like the Chicle brand gum that was like the little tiny squares. Did you ever get that? Yeah.
Did they? I don't remember. Did that also lose its flavor in like 3 seconds? It's just like a dusting of flavor on it.
Can I play guitar? No, I cannot play guitar. I don't know where that came from. That would be cool. It'd be cool to play guitar.
She could probably learn. I guess that's almost insulting to point out that you could probably learn to do something.
Probably learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
used to play the piano like
Oh,
a
there you
long
go.
time ago, so I can still read sheet music.
Wait, really?
But it'd take me like months to learn any sort of song. Like it would be so hard for me to get back into it. So no, I cannot play the guitar, but I remember how to play the piano. I do not remember like any specific song though.
You took like lessons as a kid?
Yeah, that was a big thing. Oh, we're forming Music Titans. Okay.
I don't know about that.
You're not down for that?
No.
I thought music was your thing.
We have a lot of ridiculous comments coming in, walking. Listen, here's what I'll say. When I'm sitting at the hobby table doing my work, sometimes the door opens and a person who works here comes in with some ridiculous comments about music that are just wrong.
Wrong.
And
Interesting.
that person knows who they are. And look, there's a lot of healing that needs to happen before I would interact with this person at a musical level.
Healing.
So no Music Titans. Shutting that down now. Just shutting that down right now.
Well, do you need to be a part of it?
No, I don't.
Because I can play metronome like
Wait, a
nobody's
metronome?
business.
That's not an instrument. That's like turning
Yeah.
a thing on. A metronome is now an app on a phone. Cap.
Yeah, I can press go.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
No, I like a lot of synthwave, and I listen to a lot of synthwave, and Bridger just walks in, and he's like, "This sounds like Taylor Swift," because Taylor Swift had one. And by the way, I love Taylor Swift. Well, I don't love Taylor Swift, but she's cool. And she had one album that was, again, like my Lisa Frank-inspired Khanite Shadow Stalkers, slightly synthwave inspired, called 1989. And now he thinks every synthwave thing sounds like Taylor Swift. He showed me this band the other day. It was cool. I didn't have the heart to tell him. I've been going to like classical music school for like a decade of my life. Like whatever you showed me, I saw classical guitarists do that like every day in a practice room. I didn't have the heart to tell him, "Hey, dude, I saw this in 2001 with a kid my age." I don't know. I feel bad. Bridger, like I said, there's a lot of healing that needs to happen when it comes to music talk in Bridger.
And Music Titans. So okay. So I guess we'll put a pin in Music Titans, but I don't think we should throw it out.
Yeah, maybe not. Again, like I said, there's just some healing that needs to happen.
I like also how you were like very like, oh, it's someone who works here, very specifically, not gonna name names, and then was just like, yeah, Bridger walked in the other day and
Someone walks in, no matter what I'm listening to, It can be Mahler 5. They're like, oh, this sounds like the soundtrack from the new Marvel movie. It can be whatever it is. It's like reductionism at the max. Like, I'm listening to like a Mahler symphony. I'm listening to like I'm listening to like a jazz album from like the cool jazz. I'm listening to like Andrea Hill, Blackfire, cool jazz, something, right? And he comes in and he's like, oh, this sounds like the song in Looney Tunes when like the cat is chasing the mouse like across like the fence, and it like every time he steps on one of the planks, it makes like a note. Like no matter what happens, Bridger walks in and is just like most reductionist view ever immediately of the music I'm listening to. So, but like I said, some healing needs to.
I think some healing can happen right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely airing your grievances. Bridger is in chat. So
He's not feeling bad. He's laughing, or he's just changed the
So
channel.
you want him to feel bad?
No, I don't.
Is that
want
really
him to feel
what it
bad.
is?
No, I don't. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. What can I say? I don't know. Let me ask you this: when you are painting, not here,
Not here. Okay.
and not at, well, maybe at Gamecastle. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Do you listen to music? Do you watch shows? What do you do? I'm only slightly changing the subject. We can come back to the
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah. So if it's something where like I'm trying to, like, I don't know, quickly go through a bunch of base coats for stuff, or if I'm painting terrain or whatever,
Assembling.
or assembling.
What
yeah.
you're
I'll
getting
watch
at here is
something.
easy things.
I'll watch something, and
Yeah.
it's usually like a, I don't know.
A Marvel movie, something that's just like, yeah, I've seen this.
No,
a
some
million
sort of
times.
like YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Like Avengers.
yeah,
Sorry.
the Avengers YouTube channel.
Yeah. Like a Marvel movie or
Yeah, just something that just comes up.
something that you
Some
have
sort
to-
of like quick and easy thing.
something that's like, you know what? Aquaman already did this whole movie, so this movie with Doctor Stranger or whatever his name is exactly
yep.
the same. Yeah, I get it.
That's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's something that like I need to concentrate on, I'll either listen to a book or a podcast.
Okay.
I find that it depends though. It depends on like what book or podcast. If it's something that like is almost like a nothing podcast where I'm not like really interested in what they're talking about, then it works out. If it like, because sometimes like I'll start to zone out and like get really into it, and then just like nothing else exists around me. I won't eat. I'll get like hyper focused, which sucks. But yeah, no, I'm mostly like I'll listen to a book or a podcast most of the time. What about you?
Yeah, so I either kind of similar. It depends also what Meg's doing, like, but I can pretty much watch like a show. I think like this past weekend we watched that Staircase show on HBO about Michael Peterson pushing his wife downstairs, maybe or not, whatever.
Was it the owl thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was watching that while assembling this weekend. Painting, yeah, I think I mostly can. I might just miss more, you know what I mean, when I'm doing more serious stuff. And
Miss
maybe I'm
more of
okay.
like whatever it is.
Yeah,
you're-
maybe I'm
yeah.
okay with that, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. Not a big thing. Oh yeah, look, I just remember another thing. The other day I was listening to a 70s playlist I have, and there's a Carly Simon song on, and it was like, You're So Vain. And Bridger and Adrian were like, this is country. I was like, this isn't country, guys. Like, in what world is Carly Simon country? And they both were like, for sure that just classifies
Yeah,
as country.
I guess it's just kind of like the drawl sort of like singing.
I have no clue. I have no clue. He's using or it might have been Nobody Does It Better. It was like using a Bond movie. Anyway, it was playing, and they both were like trying to convince me it's country. And Bridger and Adrian don't agree on anything involving the arts ever.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, okay, guys. Like I literally was like, I'm not biting. This is This is Taylor Swift 1989 all over again. Carly Simon Country. Can you believe that? This is what I'm talking about, folks. This is why Music Titans is never gonna happen.
Well, I don't know. I mean, people really like your hot takes. I think that would just essentially be all of what Music Titans is Bridger's hot takes on what music is.
Bridger's hot. Thank you, Kat. Look, Kat sided with me. She said it was Bridger's hot takes on what music is. Oh my god. Yeah. Hey, listen. Speaking of hot takes and people being wrong about things or being known for something.
It's a very interesting segue.
Kat and I spent some time right before the stream checking out some stamp collecting videos.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. We were kind of interested in like what the stamp collecting world looks like.
You know, I was actually intrigued.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll look them back up again, but.
We've got like a Heart of Darkness kind of situation going on here, or like a Apocalypse Now. Kat is like going to actually become a stamp collector, I think.
That's your theory.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Could I imagine myself becoming a stamp collector? No. No.
Getting a little book.
Yeah.
Putting things in the book. I think there's a sponge that they use.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just trying to divert attention from the healing that Bridger and I have to do with music, and onto you and the healing you and the stamp collecting community need to go through together.
But like, are you willing to go through the healing? Because like honestly, I don't think.
You don't think you are? You're not there yet?
No.
Yeah.
No. What about you in the book reading community?
No, I mean I'm not going to read any books anytime soon. If that's.
Would you ever listen to one though?
Yeah, I mean it's called TV. Most books are on TV. No, I'm just kidding. I guess, sure. I don't know.
What would it take?
Yes, I listen. First of all, I'm currently reading a book. Meg and I read a book every night before we go to bed. We haven't for like the past week, but we've started reading. I read books. I'm just being silly. What would it take though to listen to like full blown listen to a book? I have. You know, the last book I read on my own, unprompted, not for an assignment, was
assignment.
Yeah, like you know, like when you're in school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read a book a few months ago, maybe beginning of this year, about these two girls from the Netherlands who totally went missing in the jungles in Panama.
Oh, interesting.
This is like a thing that happened in 2014, and it's like crazy. It's just like a wild. I like nonfiction, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, how are you doing? I'm actually done fluorescent stuff.
Yeah, I got my neon glow going.
You got neons?
I got it going using the official flight stand of GW to keep it off the table.
Wait, that's not the official flight.
No.
That's a solo cup.
No, but someone made that joke in chat, and I appreciated it.
It almost isn't a bad.
It looks kind of like the flight stand for this.
Almost looks better than the flight stand.
Oh, interesting. You don't like the flight stand?
Well, it doesn't work very well. It's a little peg. You know what I mean?
No, not for this one. The flight stand for this was like almost very similar to that, but it was like two different pieces that like went together like this.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And then there's like these notches.
Is it clear?
Yeah. And these notches on it, and then it makes it so that you can like turn it around and everything like that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. No, I actually didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm done fluorescent stuff. It's very easy. Honestly, I don't know, where else would what's like a cool place to use this fluorescent gradient? Like, swords you could do it on. I'm trying to think, like, it's fun to do. Yeah,
like a magical sword.
Yeah, something like it's so situational though. I can't imagine. This is like 2 units in my army. It'd be weird to do the whole army this way, but it could look cool. I don't know. It almost becomes like a gimmick then. You know what I mean? If it's like the whole army. No, you're into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think your way of doing it is sort of subtle enough where it doesn't feel cheesy.
Oh, well, that's good.
Which is very unlike Lisa Frank. Lisa Frank is very cheesy.
No, it's not cheesy. It's just bold, Kat. Cheesy. I guess cheesy is.
Isn't that like kind of like a synonym?
Cheesy and bold? I don't think so. You think cheesy and bold are synonyms?
In a way.
We're learning a lot.
Yeah.
Today. I don't know that any of it is correct. or fair. None of
I think that should be the slogan for Music Titans.
We're learning a lot.
But we're not sure if
any of it is correct. Yeah, Music Titans is actually more of just should be a synonym.
Yeah.
For spouting off incorrect information, such like Carly Simon is country music.
Right. Or what did you say? Synthwave was Taylor Swift?
That every synthwave album ever is influenced by Taylor Swift's 1989.
Right.
Not the other way around.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, because she retconned time and it came out in 1989.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
I know, Michael Cody. You're not wrong. No. Look, I don't know why Music Titans came up. Bridger was in a Music Titans kind of a mood.
Yeah.
He did show me something very cool. Whatever it is that he was talking about was cool, by the way. I'm not entirely ragging on Bridger. It was cool. It's like a classical guitar thing. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm trying to decide if we should do some fan stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm trying to decide if, like, where else I want to go with these tonight. Because it's like one of these points where, like, if I go to the next step, it could be a while.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. Should we do some fan stuff?
Yeah.
You're like cleaning an airbrush, I know.
No, we're all good.
You the
No,
time.
it was spitting, and so I was trying to figure out like what was going on, because when you're trying to like do soft fades with an airbrush and it's spitting on you, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's not ideal. How was fan stuff this week?
It was awesome, actually. I felt like I was picking a lot of stuff. Actually, let me spray this cleaner out of my airbrush really quick. I was picking a lot of stuff. Some of them were like huge. So, yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I made sure to go through as many folders as folders. What are they? Channels. As possible.
Yeah. I actually have no idea what's in store. You purely did this today.
Yeah.
We had some other stuff going on here today that we know you guys will be excited about.
Yeah, there's been a lot of mention
there
in chat about the thing that we were doing earlier.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we will say that there is more news to come about Smaug, the Smaug model, right? Mm-hmm. So we have, as shown on a short, we have purchased Smaug. Mm-hmm. And the Smaug journey is moving along for Meg and for us here at Hobby Titans. We're pretty excited about it. So more to come very soon on Smaug.
Yeah, so we're not holding Smaug hostage now.
Yeah, we're no longer holding Smaug hostage. That's right. Okay, can we look at some fan stuff?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, Silent K.
Mm-hmm. This one I had to crop a little bit because it was
10 feet
flipping
tall.
It, yeah. But the thing that really stuck out to me was they used metallics on the cape here, which gave it like a really cool reflection. And then there's like some greens and other blues and stuff, but I just thought it was interesting. We did look last week at a very unique Necron army, which was almost like if you were to take traditional Necrons and look at them through like a negative filter.
Wait. Say it again. How was it painted?
They were white and pink. last week.
And it looked like a negative? Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
so like instead of black and green, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
But
Okay.
yeah, so I just like different, like, box art is really cool, but I like it when people get really, you know, creative with it, and I feel like this is pretty creative.
I actually really dig. I didn't really notice that it was metallic blue there. I don't think I would have noticed it unless you'd pointed it out from here.
Yeah.
But I super dig it.
Yeah, it's very shiny,
Yeah.
which I thought it lended itself to a Necron cape very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now this one,
It says Smaug on his shoulder pad.
I purposely picked for that reason. Other than the fact that like it's a really cool, really well done Chaos Knight. But yeah, I just thought that was cute. Like someone put Smaug on the shoulder.
Yeah. Yes, it is very well done. We're sort of curious about why they put Smaug on their shoulder. We
obviously
don't
a
think it's
fan.
because of us, but it's just a kind of an interesting call out to the character in the 40K world to call out this Tolkien character, but it's cool.
Yeah, it almost sort of it almost sort of felt like a like you get your significant other's name tattooed on you.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
No,
initially.
I know. I want to know why this person did this. Like, what was the thinking?
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, it's really cool. Like I really like the purple to magenta touches to it, because it's not just the cape that's like it. I can't remember if I cropped this one as well too, but there are a bunch of other pictures of this in the Discord as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, there's a bunch of like different angles, but I picked this one very purposefully because
Because of Smaug.
of smell.
Oh, nice.
It's a Kratos.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I have not. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've like seen one head on ever.
Yeah, it's a Kratos.
I have not looked on GW's site or anything like that to see what these really look like. So I don't think I've actually seen one of them head on like this. Okay, cool. And they have sort of like a minimal thing going on here with the color palette, and then like the weathering is like algae-ish.
It's very dusty.
It's dusty. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it looks super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks super cool.
Yeah, I picked there's two different angles. There's one from the side and this one. I picked this one because you get to see all the guns.
I think I know. I think I've only seen the Kratos on the side.
Yeah. If I didn't see it from the side, I probably wouldn't have known. But because I am obsessed with this tank currently, I think I would have known. But yeah, it's a Kratos, and I like that I'm seeing more and more and more pictures of it now that it's like more readily available for people to paint.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's like a very, very weathered out yellow thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you think it like? Sorry, to go back for it. Is it? You know, we always talk about how sometimes from the TV we can't see subtleties here. Is it play as sand? What is it? What does it play as? Do you think?
Oh, like the dust?
Yeah, it's just like dust. Like yellowy, sandy dust.
Yeah, I would say sort of like some sort of like arid landscape.
Okay.
In a way, it's very dry. It's very dry, and there's not a lot of rust on it, so it's very dry.
I'm asking because like weathering for desert stuff is something we've talked about before, and it's sort of weird, right? Because like weathering, a lot of weathering is, you know, rust is so good. It's such a good technique, and it tells such a story. And it's so bold, and like there are a few different ways to do it, and everyone has, you know, different people have different recipes, and they all look good. So many people can get rust to look good, but you can't really do rust
in a desert. Yeah,
in a desert.
You need moisture for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You lose. It's like you lose one of the top techniques, like one of the best like ROI weathering techniques right away when you can't do rust. I feel like.
I don't know about. I don't think lose is the thing, right? It's a challenge, I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I guess what I'm saying is like since you can't do rust, it's like this awesome tool in your tool belt that's like you can't use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you should use very sparingly. Yeah.
Right.
Because you can do it, right? But like in order for it to read as arid desert, it can't have a lot of like
gotta be careful. Yeah.
weathering from moisture, which is really like metal's biggest nemesis. So yeah, awesome.
Oh, squig.
Yeah.
Some squig stuff going on. Yellow. Yeah, I like it. Nice
Speaking
base.
of
Oh, this
Bloom
is Broken Chef.
There was a couple other ones as well too. There was like a whole either Boing Rot Bounders or Squig Hoppers unit as well, and they all had these neon tufts on them. But yeah, speaking of non-traditional paint schemes,
Yeah.
is
like
this
it.
guy. Yeah, I like the polka dots as well too on it. Well, they're not really polka dots, but like I just like the more muted color to it. I think it makes the base pop really well, but it also contrasts with it
Yeah.
very nicely.
Yeah, this is nice.
Good job. More Necron stuff.
Yeah, Necron's so
I
hot
believe
right
this is one of Bryce's that I put
Oh,
in
this-
here. I believe so.
now. I'm looking at the background to see if I can tell. Because earlier we were going through them and we saw
Definitely one that we recognized.
one
yeah,
that we
yeah.
recognized, right?
But I can't remember.
If this is Bryce. This is Bryce. Bryce literally is showing me pictures of this guy last night. I'm like half watching a show and like falling asleep, and I'm like getting these like text messages.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's texting me? And it's Bryce, and he's texting me this guy, and we're chatting about the bases. Yeah, it looks super cool.
Yeah. Also, I had to crop this a little bit, but I wanted to keep the base in as much as I possibly could.
This guy's just painting like a banshee recently, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much content, but this is really cool. I mean, again, it's like, it's green, but it's not like a ton of green and black, which is usually what the Necrons are. So
Yeah.
this was really awesome. And
this
guy.
is so yeah. I think, guys, is this the Manipulus? I forget the name of this unit. I think it's called a Manipulus. He's like a he's gross, right?
Yes.
He's kind of like a gross admech dude. This looks
Yeah,
amazing.
like he's got like a lower half of him is like sort of like a robot-y type thing. Yeah. Yeah. This was really cool. This is really cool. I also like how the base matches the board you have going on as well too. So
Well, it's a good photo, right?
yeah, it was very fitting. But there's a ton of details on this guy. Yeah, people are saying Manipulus.
Manipulus, okay.
But yeah, there's a ton of detail on this guy, which I appreciate. When attention to detail, it's there.
Yeah, this is cool. And it's a great photo. I think I was mentioning that I'm like really more into taking photos this way than like on the white background anymore.
Oh, with sort of like an environment.
I think I'm like gonna start doing that with all my miniatures more.
I think
that I like post on my personal Instagram and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's good, but also then sometimes you kind of lose, the technical details of things a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it looks good. So.
Yeah.
Now, when I first came across these guys, wasn't sure if they had heads, but they do. And they're kind of cute, and I don't know what models these are.
Yeah, this is I forget the exact name. It's a Custodes, some kind of funky dreadnought. Bridger's in chat, so he's going to know. Because this is like his army. I forget what these guys are called. Someone in chat will tell us. They look cool, though.
They're super cool. I like the swords a lot, but I really honestly want to know what these models are.
Yeah, you always talk about liking vehicles. How do you feel about like these different dreadnoughts? Are you a dreadnoughts
I love them.
person?
I love them. Yeah. Yeah, battle suits and stuff like that, they're really cool. I like dreadnoughts. I like the Tau battle suits.
Uh-huh.
I love Gundam.
Oh, sure. I guess that makes sense. I guess I knew the answer to this question.
Bridger's saying they're Shadow Keepers. Or Achilles Dreadnought.
Yeah, Achilles Dreadnought.
Achilles Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. These are really awesome. Because I've never seen them before. So that was honestly really surprising to me. But this is a really cool color scheme. And the swords were really well done.
Pretty sure these are Forge World, yeah.
Okay. Then no wonder I've never seen them before. So
A lot of this line is for the Custodies is Forge World.
Now these are like hog riders or something, or
Yeah, I forget their exact name. Some of the I cannot keep up all the different orc names, if I'm honest, especially in 40k. But even in Sigmar, I cannot Squig Hog Riders or something like this. Again, somebody else is gonna know.
yeah, but it is a traditional box art scheme, but you can see that it's done really really well. So I like them. I also think it's cute that squigs exist in both worlds, sort of thing. I know it's the same world, but
No, it's kind of not. You're right. There are very few things that exist in both worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
orcs and squigs.
Well, orcs
orcs are different. I get it. But.
No, but you're right. Orcs do, but they're different, right? But they both the Sigmar and the 40k orcs have squigs.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, the orcs in Sigmar don't.
It's goblins.
It's only the Gloomspike gets that have them.
Yeah.
And obviously all the chaos stuff, right? The chaos demons exist in both. Yeah, these look great.
Yeah.
Very traditional, but very good.
It's cool. Here's the whole squad. Yeah. I thought that was really well done, with the book in the background as well.
Not the worst background. Oh, train.
Very purposely went through the terrain thing.
Yeah.
Because I think Adrian missed it last week. So.
Oh, gosh, Adrian. No. Sometimes you just fill up on you just get so many. You're like, it's we already have 23. Should I check terrain? And I get nervous because I'm like, oh man, we're at 23. What if I click on terrain? There's 10. Fan stuff will go on for an hour.
Yeah.
This is cool. Hey,
but I love terrain stuff.
Let me ask you about terrain. I've never really chatted with you about this. This is super cool. There's this sort of dichotomy when you're creating terrain between doing something that I kind of think of as embedded, like this, where you can go further creatively, right? And you can really show fine detail. You can have the sand creeping up the wall. You can show those diorama elements, but you lose modularity, the ability to kind of alter, change the terrain for your game. And frankly, I think probably the biggest thing, right, is storage and travel become a bigger pain. Where do you land on this? I mean, more and more, my life has pushed me in a direction between clubs I'm in and here at Titans to build items, put them in a set with weathering, matching, but I do so few things that are dug, here's the table, dug in, this table, if I ever move, is gonna be a problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have a love for both. I am starting to lean more towards can I pick this up and put it anywhere? Mm-hmm. Which is why I think the reason why we both love the Wildwoods terrain set is they have a base, but it's not a huge footprint. It's not that big, sort of oblong, circle-y type shape to it. But the thing is that it doesn't allow you to blend it into the table. You can do certain things, but it doesn't allow you to do the piles of sand and having the whole entire story told right there. So I have built a static table where that's it. That's the whole entire table. You can take stuff. You can put stuff on it because there's definitely wider footprints for that to happen.
Right.
But you can't take anything that's already on it off.
Got it.
Because also half of it is embedded in resin. So I like how creative you can get to it with that, and how much more you can take things.
Right. There's a cost though.
Yeah. You're right.
And it becomes, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to know the Yetzer. I don't think there's ever going to be a right answer. Right now in my life, it feels like keeping it more modular is the answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see this and I'm like, he's been able to do so many cool things and tell little interesting stories here, right? Mm-hmm. And I do look at stuff like this and try to my modular train and try to like make the scatter so people can build their own little things. But I don't know, probably never going to be a right answer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like making things boring. That's for sure. Right, like modular terrain. Yeah, you can just get your L-shaped buildings, and you can get your bricks and whatever, and your barrels and stuff like that. But I don't think either one of us makes things boring.
Well, it's about scatter, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's about like how can I build out the environment while also still making it so that I can move this around and stuff. So I think that's what I'm experimenting around with. Yeah. But I have built terrain pieces like this and built tables like this, and it just allows you to do so much more and build out the environment so much more, and make cool little things where you have this like wheel spoke or whatever leaned up against this wall. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I like both of them, but I am leaning more towards like modularity and because my thing is I want people to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when I make stuff like this, people tend not to reach for it because it's hard. It's hard to build into a table unless you have an entire table around that.
Frankly, also like I mean, right, and it's. I don't know. There's a degree also to which it's like, is this someone's diorama? Like at the store, cool. Right?
Yeah, I also wonder too, like, because, you can take this and make like an army display with it, like armies on parade sort of thing. I don't know how big it is, but
yeah.
You can do that.
There's a board at Mountain View that was like, had a bridge going across it, like a water. Do you remember this board?
Yeah,
it was like a weird size.
We sold it. Yeah.
You sold it. Mm-hmm. Did
with
Seth
the waterfall
make that?
and everything
did
like
Seth
that
make
on
that?
it?
Or
Yeah.
Yeah. And I played a game. I played a game on it once.
But it's hard.
Well, it was okay, but then it was like, will I play on this game? Like, there's no modularity to it, so like this is always what it's gonna look like, right? But it was super cool, and me and a friend who lived in this area at this time, Lauren, we saw it and we were like, hey, we think this is cool, and we literally like, let's show up and play a game on this.
Wait, okay, so what table are you talking about? The one with the waterfall?
I know that one you're talking about. No, not that one.
Because the one with the bridge in it,
yeah,
we still have. It's at the Westgate store.
Not the waterfall one.
Yeah,
I've not played on that one.
Took that one, stripped mostly everything off that we could of it, and then dressed it back up again. But you are right, like because you can't change where the river is, you can't change where the bridge is. It makes it like, especially deployment, right? Like you have one option and that's pretty much it. So
yeah,
I get that with,
but it was cool,
non-static.
It was super cool the one time we played on it. It was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
We use it to like introduce people into,
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this another Necron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necrons. Yeah. I'd never seen this model before either, so I don't know if like the skull piece is like part of it.
I think this is a
whatever.
Conversion. This is not normally. The skull is not normally there. There is like a digital thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but the skull
but
is
not
like,
the skull.
Is different.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought the skull was really cool.
The skull is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of pictures of this, but I also think the person who posted it was like, oh, I lost, but this model was really cool. So, yeah. Or it's got like not good stats or something, but it's a really cool model.
Yeah, this is super cool.
Sure, but yeah, this was super, super, super awesome.
And the paint job's cool too. Oh, here's this is one of the new Praetors from the new Horus Heresy box. I painted one of these guys up as well.
Not a conversion.
No, I don't think so. Unless maybe the helmet is.
No. The other, the Necron thing.
Oh, it's not a conversion? There is a...
Spooky Psychomancer. That's the normal model. Yeah.
Oh, with the skull? Oh, weird. Interesting. Thank you, Chad. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, anyway. I thought this one was like really cool. I like... So where are you on like blood splatter and stuff like that.
I mean, there's a time and a place. This looks like a
And
time and a place.
this is the time
Yeah.
and the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think some people take it a little bit overboard, but
Sure.
this definitely made this guy much more menacing. So that
Look,
was
I'm
really
I'm
cool.
painting models to be have a copy Lisa Frank style. Like I'm gonna be okay with a little blood splatter. There's a correlation between Lisa Frank and blood splatter.
Okay.
If you can't love
That
one,
Venn diagram,
yeah,
like
there's a
fully,
lot
it's just
of
a circle.
Oh, it's a circle.
Yeah.
No, this guy looks cool. This model is cool. I'm kind of curious, Chad. What are you guys' thoughts on his left arm, our right shoulder pad? I painted this thing up, and as I looked at this thing, I got major like Nurgle Boyle vibes from it, and I think it's because they are placed in it's not a random pattern that you would like see boils come up on, but there's something about the little bulbs all over the left shoulder, the little circles, that as I was painting the model, at first I was just like, this seems Nurgle-y to me. There was something about it. I ultimately thought that it was okay, and I think this person has done a good job with it as well. And I like it, but there's just something I'm like surprised about the aesthetic. It also gives me kind of like just like weird Renaissance like star like astronomy equipment vibes.
Oh, okay.
Especially painting these colors.
And
There's
blue and
something about
silver
this
and gold,
style of the shoulder pad that I found very interesting, and I think I like it, but I'm not sure. I don't know. It's very different from other marine shoulder pads.
It kind of reminds me of the like little knobs that they get on their foreheads for like their service things that sort of look like bolts in their foreheads. That's sort of what that reminds me of.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah. So that's what I get from it. I don't know if it serves like any sort of like tactical like.
I don't know. I mean, in general, like these heresy suits of armor have this. The Mark IV and I think the Mark III both had like a Baroque kind. It's more Baroque-y, right? Than that. I think that's a design aesthetic choice to have the Horus Heresy timeline be even more Baroque than the 40K timeline.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, like what chat is saying, it definitely has a Stormcast vibe to it.
Yeah, Stormcast.
I mean, the colors very much lend it to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look like, it makes it look like older armor, I feel. Because, I mean, if you look at the shin guards as well, it also has it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I thought this model was super cool. And the blood splatter, I think, was, it's tasteful blood splatter.
It's a tasteful splatter, yes. Is this a space? This is Space Wolf.
I think someone said it's the Jawl or something like that. Jawl or whatever.
Yeah, Jarl. I don't know enough about Space Wolves, guys, to know what this is. But it looks cool.
He kind of looks, especially with that stance, like a wizard, in a way.
Oh, Stormcaller. Is it that guy? Yeah. Is it the Stormcaller dude? I forget his first name. Yeah, he's like a. He is. He's like a.
He is a wizard.
Psychic
Okay.
guy. If that's who it
Psychic.
is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought it was cool, and also the wolf that Nijal.
Jarl Stormcaller.
Nijal.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
he's
super close.
like a psyker dude. Yeah. So wizard, you're right.
Yeah, but I thought the snow on this base was really well done.
Which is not easy to do, right? We
No.
see a lot of bad snow bases.
Yeah. Yeah.
All over the place, yeah.
But the snow on this base is really well done. I thought the fur on the pelt was also really well done. He's their librarian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a psychic dude.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, no, this was super well done. It definitely looks like he's in a snowy environment.
Is Death Guard?
Yeah.
Just like a Death Guard army, a little
Yeah.
Death Guard force. Yeah, looks super cool.
Yeah.
The picture doesn't look super clear here. I'm gonna actually go check this out on the computer. But
They are like a dusty green color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. if that's what you're looking for. But
dusty green.
It was just a clear picture of like a whole bunch of dudes, all painted up to the same level, which
is cool.
So yeah, I will say that they're Death Guard if you say that they're Death Guard.
It's Death Guard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they look cool. Yeah, these guys look great.
Not a wizard. Okay. Yeah, no, this is super cool. I don't know, there's something very impressive about someone painting a bunch of dudes all to the same level. Especially ones that have like this much detail on them.
Yeah, the Death Guard line is really cool.
Speaking of Bryce.
No, this is Brett.
Brett.
Yeah.
Dang it. Brett. There you go.
Yeah.
Brett.
Brett was the guy we were like, oh yeah, I like cows flipping through him. And she got to this one, and without me even needing to ask, I was like, oh, this is Brett. Yeah, it looks super cool. And then I don't know this model, but Brett was around earlier. He might still be around. Adrian was pointing out that this guy's normally like there's a marine nearby, and Brett replaced it with a tactical rock, which Brett has very mixed feelings on tactical rocks. Brett has a complex relationship with rocks on bases, if like the model is standing on it. But again, I forget what's actually happening in this model. Normally.
Well, he's pointing, so I imagine the height from the tactical rock helps him point to whatever he is pointing at.
The tactical
what
rock
is that thing
helps
on
with
his
pointing.
backpack?
Is this like oh my god, we're the worst people for marine identification. Apothecary, Liberty Fire says. Yeah, isn't he normally like healing a marine? He's taking the gene seed thing back out of the marine, and Brett has replaced it with not a marine. I don't know. That's what Adrian told me. I don't know marine stuff, guys. I'm so bad at it.
I do know that Adrian was very upset about the rock.
Well, he wasn't upset about the rock. He was like, we all know Brett's complicated relationship with tactical rocks. So we were like surprised. We were like, wait, Brett built a tactical rock? Either way, this looks great. We always put Brett's stuff up because it looks great. Yeah, his Black Templar is coming along. Actually, I got to get a game in with him soon. Shoot some Black Templars with some Tau. Every time I've told this story before, but Brett and I, big Tau fans, so like we're like, okay, which one of us gets to play Tau, and which one of us
doesn't play Tau?
Yeah. It pained me to add a tactical rock where one did not previously exist. That was it, Brett. That's why we were like, what is going on? Where is this tactical rock? This isn't the Brett we know. These guys look super cool. Thousand Suns. Oh, these are Heresy Thousand Suns. Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah, this is super, super, super well done.
Yeah, these guys are really well done.
Yeah, so great job, but also love the color scheme as well too.
Yeah, Heresy Thousand Suns are red. Isn't that crazy? Red and gold. And then in 40K, they're blue and gold. Because of Zinch. Cat's like, yep, okay.
Sure, yeah.
Cat's gonna need another 40K quiz soon. I can just tell.
You know, I'm learning.
It's been a little while.
I'm learning. I got to apply the knowledge that you taught me last stream when Adrian asked me if I knew what a Primark was. I was like, it's a really big space marine.
It's an extra big space marine.
Yes.
Good job. Yeah, I checked in on the stream a little bit last week, and I saw this question coming up for you about what Primark would you go on a date with. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh boy, that's going to be good. But then I couldn't stick around to see the answer. What did you decide? What was decided?
Oh, it was decided for me that Miss Sanguinius was my ultimate Primark husbando.
Oh, I see. I can see it. You do like red.
I do like red.
Red and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sanguinius tracks.
Yeah, when I brought it up to other people who know 40K lore, they were like, oh, like, you get mad really easily. And I'm like, that's perfect.
Really?
That's perfect.
You get mad easily?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm a little nervous now.
I mean, that's why the stamp collector community stays away,
here's
right?
What I was going to say. I was going to say, if one of the Primarks collects stamps, I hate to say it, but it might be Sanguinius.
Do stamps exist in the...
Well, I'm just saying that if one
in the
of...
30th?
If one of the Primarks did collect stamps, it would be Rogodorn first, but second, it would be Sanguinius. It might be Fulgrim too. I don't know. This is a new question. We need to figure it out. Like, what Primark has the biggest stamp collection? Is definitely a new thing.
What Primark would be a stamp collector?
Yeah. No, I think several of them might collect stamps. I want to know who has the biggest stamp collection. Yeah, it's Doran, of course, Doran. And Doran, well, see, Doran also, though, feels I could see being a collectible coins guy. Because Doran would be like, he would like bring you in to show you his coin collection. And he would be like, the first thing he would point out was that he'd say, I happen to know this is a big thing in the coin collecting world. Well, it's probably in the stamp collecting world, too. If the stamp or the coin was like not issued by an actual government or like was not actually in use, it's like not nearly as interesting.
It's no go.
It's not as valuable, right?
Right.
And the first thing Dorn would do is make sure you knew that all of his coins were in circulation.
Okay.
Like these are all government issued coins. None of these are commemorative. There's no commemorative coins here.
Oh, like when you're like up late at night watching like I don't know, infomercials and they try to sell you the commemorative coins.
Yeah, there's like here's the 1996 Atlanta Olympics coin, like commemorating the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. Like that's not a real...
sounds very, very eerily similar to your Bridger impression.
Yeah, it's true. My coin seller and Bridger impressions are the same. It's the same person in my mind. Trying to sell me on something I know isn't real, Bridger. Yeah, I do imagine that Dorn would be the biggest stamp collector.
Okay.
Yeah, you're true. That all this stuff about immediately like the Dorn things. Yeah, special sleeves. So there's not the like. Well, Dorn knows the Claven that if you lick a stamp, it loses its value, because he'll be like, well, the acids in the human tongue over 80 years will actually eat away at the stamp. So you can't do that. That's what he's gonna say.
I see.
But I don't know. I could see Sanguinius being into stamp collecting too.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, look
No,
at this one. Suddenly knowing all kinds of stuff about the Horus Heresy.
See, I'm
shutting it
committed.
down right
I'm
now.
committed at this point. No, I'm just gonna say no.
You're just saying no.
Yeah.
Sanguinius, not a famously not a stamp collector.
Notoriously not
Not
a stamp collector.
Look, I got to tell you, I could be done.
Same.
You could be done. Like I'm saying, here I can show chat where I'm at. We're going to do a little zoom in. Actually, this is kind of one kind of interesting spot to show. But I will say, this is like one of those things where it looks messy.
That's just
So,
the back of your lamp.
oh yeah, I'm going to show you guys something messy, but I promise it'll get cleaned up when you see the finished product. So one of the things, I'll show you actually the finished product. One of the things I then do on these, let me find a nice one I like here. Here's a Shadow Stalker from the first unit that's finished. And you can see I do these kind of like, in addition to the gradient from the airbrush on the robe, I've done like these streaks, almost like edge highlighting on the robe in selective areas. And so to do that, I paint white, and it starts by looking pretty ugly and messy actually. So here's one I'm working on. You can see the white streaks here. And then you can see I start with the green. But like Kat was saying, these are transparent paints, and it ends up almost being like, it's not oil paint because it dries, but it almost feels like that sort of process where I'm going over with a lot of nice thin layers, and I'm doing like blending. I'll bring the yellow in, and then I'll blend it in there with the green. And it takes a little while, and I think she's right. I think if I used a less transparent line, it would probably go quicker.
Yeah, but you know, you're committed at this point. It wouldn't color match.
That's it, right? That's it, and that's what I was saying earlier. If I knew that they color matched, maybe I'd go for it, but I don't think that they will. Now, another thing I have to do, you guys will notice that her hair is way less bright than this finished lady's hair, and that is because I do, after I do all the gradient, which I've done here, I do go back over it with an airbrush with titanium white. Believe it or not. And the fluorescence peeks through. And I kind of love that about the titanium white with the fluorescence, is they both like peek through each other. And so you like until you put too much on, right?
Yeah.
So you get that option. It's like very much like a transparent. You're adding like a very transparent layer over top of the other one, back and forth until you get the result you want. So that's where I'm at. I've got to finish these ladies pretty soon. Actually, I think I'm gonna try to get a game in with them on Monday. Because I got to get practicing with my Sigmar stuff. I got a lot of events coming up. If people are going to either Old Town Throwdown in Irvine, that's like a small event. It's Sigmar only, no 40K. Or a bunch of us are going to Nova. You're not going to Nova. You're the only Titan not going to Nova, I think.
Well, I think the only Titan that doesn't play, so. Yeah.
But you could do painting stuff.
I could, and I have a lot of friends who are going to Nova, but I don't want to travel anymore for a while.
You've been like traveling every other week or almost every week for like a few months. Well, on average, like every other at least.
Yeah, I say on average maybe like twice a month or something. Yeah.
So if you guys are going, you probably already knew that Titans are going to that. Looking forward to seeing East Coast people, because I haven't really met very few East Coast fans, just ones who've come out to the West Coast. Yeah, and I do know, thank you, Bridger, we do actually still have at least one more super chat before we say bye, which is a Michael Cody super chat, I think.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. It's true. It's back a bit because we prompted a lot of discussion about. There it is. Okay. Thank you, Michael Cody. Michael Cody says, "Have a weekend so good that you're more relaxed than Zach after airing what appears to be a lifetime's worth of grievances." Listen, Bridger and I have actually been working together in some stuff recently, and have developed a relationship of as boys do of ribbing each other nonstop. So look, Carly Simon is not country. That's just a fact, but it doesn't mean Bridger is wrong about everything. He's right about a lot of things, so I will give him credit for that.
Just not music.
Some music even, but Carly Simon's not country, Bridger. Come on. Like, it's not country. It's wild to me.
Yeah, I feel like we got to get a lot off your chest.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's good,
right?
Yeah. And got to paint some Lisa Frank. I actually forgot that we were talking about Lisa Frank when we started this stream.
Wow.
So many different topics have come up. Great, Cat.
Yeah.
Is this guy done? This guy's pretty wild looking. Can we see your progress? Can we glam cam some progress? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put your glow. In fact, is this guy? Oh, he's on his thing.
He's dry.
Okay. Oh, I kind of like it with the solo cup. Okay. Well, glam cam Cat's. Oh yeah, this looks great.
Oh, let's zoom out a little bit. Actually, let me put this guy in there really quick. So, yeah. This is the start of it.
This is great.
This is the start.
I just love the way you've done black. I need to see this recipe again.
Yeah. Well, thankfully I did it on stream because I don't write anything down.
That's why you keep coming here every Wednesday. You're like, hey, I need to document what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, the big part was like just gradual highlights and stuff. I think the thing that really sold it was the overall wash of Drakenhof Nightshade. And then I did concentrate that on like, the darker areas and stuff. So
this looks so cool.
That was a big thing. Yeah, thank you. I agree. I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I have zero confidence in myself on like a lot of things, mostly just because most of the things I do, I'm doing for the first time. My big hobby, motivation is learning.
Listen, I know you have to give this back to somebody, but you should just buy that person a new repulsor and give it back to him new in box and be like, here's your repulsor backs. I didn't end up getting to it. And they'll be like, wait, didn't I give you an assembled one?
You know, it's funny that you say that, but I know he's watched.
Oh, no.
I know he's watched this, and he's also friends with John.
Oh, no.
So, you know.
I just want to see, I mean, so like, I don't even know if Legion of the Dam have rules in the current edition, but you could run these as any Marine chapter you wanted, or even a custom Marine chapter. You could say they're Legion of the Dam, but I'm using these rules or something, and I just want to see this army. I just want to see a whole army like this now. This looks so cool. I want to see the Storm Talon with these guys.
Yeah.
I want to see bikes with these guys.
Yeah, I do kind of want to show off my Storm Talon a little bit, because I built it. It's in a bunch of pieces, but I am planning on doing some cool stuff with it. So maybe people can see it, like how I would build.
Yeah, let's do it.
Something essentially.
Do we do this on Glam Cam or over here?
Just give it to you.
Okay. Oh, and then you're gonna show me the things you're gonna. Oh, I see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, here is a Storm Talon.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is you're gonna tell me how to do things, and I'm gonna do them to try to demonstrate. And it's not gonna be funny at all. It's gonna be very serious. So
Yeah.
here's this.
Yeah. So I cut the flaps out of all of the things, so you can.
So I'm sorry. Can you cut the flaps out of all of the things? I can't. Listen.
It's a little hard to see here, but I like the little lines here. They're
Yes.
through, right? So like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like you can see through them.
You can see through them.
Yeah. Here.
And the reason why I was like, oh, I need some heat in order to bend them is I do plan on bending these flaps, this flap right here, and then these as well too.
And talk to me about this goes here.
Yeah.
And talk to me about why. Like what's the look that's happening here? Cat aerospace student of cat's like that's not how a flap.
So okay, so these are what you would consider like rudders on a boat.
I'm sorry. Is there a reason we're using boat analogies? You went to school for like airplane engineering stuff. Why go straight to boat analogies?
I don't know. I feel like most people have like driven a boat more than a plane.
Okay.
So anyway, these help with and these here and this one here helps with
Flying.
turning and banking.
Okay.
And so this is how you get really smooth banks and really smooth turns without like it tipping the plane in any sort of way. And the wing flaps here as well too, you can also do that. For the plane that I flew, which was just a little prop plane, prop meaning like propeller.
Like, wait, when you say propeller,
Yeah.
do you mean the same type of propeller that one might find on a boat?
Is it similar?
Okay.
But you know, instead of the back, it's the front.
I would have understood it more if you had talked about it in terms of a boat.
Yeah, it's just bigger. And yeah, air is a fluid. Anyway, so they have foot pedals very similar to what you would find in a car, but it's not like gas or brake. Those turn those little flaps on the back of the plane.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you know, if you press down on the left one, it tilts it so that it helps you bank more smoothly. And so I want to get a really cool angle of this sort of like swooping in. And in order to do that realistically,
you had to cut.
Its flaps would be engaged in a more dynamic way than just straight.
You had to cut and then, yeah.
Yeah.
So is this going to be Legion of the Dam themed?
I think so.
Is this guy going to stay in here, or are you going to do a different thing?
So the canopy is clear, but I'm going to paint it opaque. Mostly just because I don't want to paint the guy inside of it.
Right, who does?
But Seth taught me a way to do it where it looks sort of like a reflective motorcycle helmet type thing, or like Master Chief from
Okay.
Halo, you know?
Yeah.
Where, yeah.
I love this model. This, I don't have a Space Marine army, but man, I do. I love this model. I love both builds of it. The Stormhawk Interceptor 2 is very cool.
Yeah.
That's the one that's instead of this one's
It's
almost
a little bit longer.
This one's
yeah.
almost like going in the direction of like a helicopter hybrid, and that one is
Well,
a little.
it's VTOL. Yeah.
What?
So the reason.
Oh, sorry. Before we go too far, can you explain it to me in terms of boats?
No.
Okay.
So
Not a boat analogy situation.
like that's what these are.
Oh, they
down
like
here.
help it go straight up.
You can do like vertical landings and
Right,
takeoffs
okay,
and stuff like
okay.
that. So yeah. Anyway.
Which boats can't do. So that's why you said there's no good analogy.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see this. I'm loving the Chad as well. Seems to be loving the this is just crazy. It's so vivid, and there's like the black itself is so deep
Yeah.
and built up.
Well, it's blue, really. Yeah.
But it's still like this crazy contrast with the flaming guys, right? Like, really nice. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hobby Titans. Some stuff's going to be coming out soon. Keep an eye on this channel because we have, a couple things. I'm not. I can't give you an exact date on Smaug Watch update, but there will be a Smaug Watch update soon. And we have a couple other things in the works as well. Next week, I think you and I are back. Are you back? I'm back. We don't know. Okay.
I'm not traveling.
You're not traveling. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what comes up.
Yeah. So I look. We haven't done any terrain in a while. It might be fun to work on some terrain.
True.
I have some sitting over here that needs some painting. So not sure what we're working on yet, but it will be fun. We will be here. Anything, Kat? You have anything left?
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
So I mean, I might try and like document the majority of what I do with my tank on stream, but I don't want to like paint the same thing over and over and over again. I don't want anyone to get bored, but also I get bored, which is why I built that Storm Talon.
The Storm Talon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh man, that thing looks good. I think everyone's gonna be very excited to see that finished Repulsor, Executioner, Legion of the Damned thing. Like, it's gonna look cool.
Yeah.
So great. With that said,
Sweet.
folks, thank you so much for joining us as always. And as we say, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and always be creating. See you guys.